I think the things have to be very clear is that belief in witchcraft does not necessarily lead to abuse of a child. That all the triggers that the people who are just believing in witchcraft, in evil forces, come to the level that they can kill somebody. Or where, the case of Christy Bahunga was killed by a sister and a brother-in-law with their sisters, of 2 sisters and 1 brother. The question. Now, the whole thing is about, I think, is all about trying to explain what you can't understand, especially medically or economically. And what happened to this country, when people come to this country, they have got issue of immigration, unemployment, family breakdown, and they want you to call children who are not behaving properly according to how they used to be. They try to look for an explanation. And that explanation is, you know what is happening is because of witchcraft. And once it is witchcraft, you look for somebody who has called who has brought the witchcraft. And unfortunately, but it had to be underlined that the African tradition, a child would not be a witch. It was normal to be old people and old women. But now, it is called the most vulnerable in society. It was women in the past centuries. Now it is a child. And so, when the child is identified as a witch, or the one causing evil acts, the nature of the child is transformed. He is no longer the child, the innocent child you know. It is an evil person. And the victim is not the child, it is the person who is suffering the consequences of the evil act of the child. So they will change it. That's what you have to understand. But they didn't call it archaic. I think when you look at the all the major religions believe in evil spirits. Christianity, Islam, they call it bad genes. Hinduism, they all believe in those spirits. And when you quote the Bible, they will tell you actually that Jesus was expelling evil spirits. And sometimes unclean spirit will be identified or linked to a physical disability. So in the African custom, also the tradition, in the religion, they believe that there is life after death. And that the spirits there of the ancestors can still intervene in people's lives. But also that God is up there, in between the evil forces, which can cause harm, or people can manipulate to cause harm. So if you cut across the religions, you will find actually there is a similarity. Now, the third question is, how do you get rid of them? The traditionalists will go to a healer or to a witch doctor. In the church, you have got exorcists. Because the Catholic Church, the Church of England, for them, they have got exorcists. But the process is different because no matter what they do, they go to the doctor, the psychiatrist, and then after the exorcist, they would say, probably it could be something else. And even then, what happened, the bishop has authorized that you have to deal with that. But what is happening today is, I'm sorry to say, most of the revivalist movements, each one can identify how they get that power to identify who is a witch. And therefore, once he's identified, he's paid money to expel those evil spirits. I think that's why the problem lies. And that's why I was saying, belief is not enough is not automatically leading to abuse. But people exploiting that situation to make money, I can do them fraudsters. Some of that prayer want to make money, and you have people making money out of that. And that's where the problem lies. And that's why we are calling for the law to make it an offense to call a child as a witch. Because once you say a child is a witch, you are saying there's an evil person, and you just find what's going to happen to that child. Like Christy Bahunga, like Victoria Klimby. You know, I've got other cases where the child was semi-strong-willed, not to kill the child, but to get life out of the devil in the child. Not the child, life out of the devil. So again, I think that's why people are trying to exploit those belief systems to make money. And the other part of it, actually, most of these people don't have any training. They just can wake up and we can stop what you are doing now, you and me. We start a church, start getting money. And I think that's a key problem. But again, to come back and say, most of the churches, many of them do a wonderful job for the people, for their community. But there are these people who are actually trying to persuade the situation, and now we are calling for the churches, I mean those who are actually doing a good job, to join us and be partners in fighting this small group of people while trying to exploit the desperation with the community. What I was saying, it is people trying to find out, desperate to try anything. You can't tell them, here it is. Here is the problem, here is the solution. Give me money.